Hey there friends, it's Missy again. Thanks so much for stopping by today. I'm back with a new layout for Hip Kit Club and I'm using the 2019 August kits. And I pulled out a lot of pink, purple, and orange goodies to start this layout with. These are 3 of the exclusive Pocket Life cards, and the background paper and this hello piece are from the Truly Grateful collection from Paige Evans. And our theme this week is to scrapbook a selfie. And so this is a selfie I took back in June when we were in the Bahamas. One of the walls in the bedroom that we were in was this really pretty blue color, and I like the way that the blue in the background contrasts with all those pinks and purples and oranges. So this is paper number 15 from Truly Grateful, and I really love that soft purple to pink to light pink gradient on this. And so I thought I would do some layering and some mixed media on this, and so I'm just going to use a palette knife and some white gesso here to coat pretty much just the center of the layout where you saw me place those Pocket Life cards in the photo. I just kind of want some color around the edges of everything, and I'm not even quite sure what other embellishments I'm going to use yet, or you know, how exactly I'm going to do the background. I know that I want some purple on it. So you can kind of see there I've got all my white gesso smudged around, and so now my paper is ready to go. And I'm going to start with purple. Now this is a color that we get in the color kit this month, and the name of that color is, where is it? Right here. Teapot Purple, and it's from Lindy's Stamp Gang. And you can see right away it is extremely bold. It is very, very beautiful, and you can actually see it's got pink streaks in it. And I love these powders for that reason, because it looks like it's just one color, but then when you spread some of the powder around and activate it with water, you see a couple of different other colors mixed in it. It's really, really neat. But this color purple is very, very dark, very bold, and it's quite a different shade than the purple in that long Pocket Life card. So I'm mixing in some of the darker pink color that we got, oh gosh, maybe last month, the month before, I can't remember. We've gotten Lindy's for several months now, and if you've been getting the color kits, then you've probably started to collect a wide variety of pinks and yellows, blues, and different shades of these powders. And so I'm just kind of mixing and matching, adding some water and letting it kind of just pool around the page, basically over where I put the gesso. And you can kind of see a couple of dark spots there at the bottom where I did not put the gesso and the water got onto the paper there. So you can kind of see the difference in how the gesso works versus going straight to the paper without gesso. Alright, so I thought I would jazz it up a little bit more. When this dried, it dried very light. So I'm going to come back in with some of the sprays. These are also from Lindy's. Again, we've gotten these over the last, I can't remember, 2 months ago, or 2 months ago maybe? It's this really bold pink color called Hibiscus Rose, and I'm going to mix it with a lighter pink that we got in another kit called Cotton Candy Pink, and then this yellow color that we got called Yellow Rose of Texas. So I'm just kind of spraying this down on my little acrylic stamping block. I think I use this stamping block more to smudge paint than I do to stamp. That's why it's not very clear anymore. It's pretty stained. But yeah, it's just a different way to smudge paint around. It gives you a different option than plastic packaging. And you can see it dries very light. It looks very bold, but when it dries, it's pretty light. And I'm okay with it because a lot of this is going to get covered up, and you'll see here as I go. I want to use this big hello piece, but I do want to trim off some of the white border so it doesn't stand out as much. And then I let the background dry and kind of played around with the placement of everything. And then now I'm going to come back in with one of the Vicky Bouton stencils. And we get that in this month's color kit. There's 3 stencils. And I'm going to mix up a little bit of the yellow powder that we get this month with some white acrylic paint. And I'm going to test this out right here in the middle. And I press too hard. You can kind of see there it's smudged too much. So what I'm going to do is just lightly take my little foam applicator blending tool there and just kind of lightly tap it and smudge it over the stencil, just to give a little bit of flower design to the background. It kind of winds up being very pretty much a light yellow color, and when it dries, it's you know, not stark white. But I didn't want it to be bright yellow. I wanted it to be a little bit softer. So yeah, this is just another option for stencils. If you want to use some of the Lindy's powders, they mix really well with white acrylic paint. And yeah, I just made sure I didn't press too hard, and so the paint wouldn't smudge underneath the stencil there like I did in the middle. You can kind of see the difference there. So anyway, I just thought I would play around. I'm kind of just experimenting with some of this and seeing how it looks, and I like the way this looks, and it looks totally different. I know I say this a lot, but it looks totally different when you add your pocket life cards or your pattern paper or your cut file, whatever it is you're working with, your photos. You start to bring everything back. It looks totally different. So I'm going to add in some splatters here. Again, I'm going back to that really bold pink color, and you can kind of see the difference of where it hit the paper with gesso versus without gesso. The color looks different. I'm not able to dab it up as much because it immediately soaks right through the paper. You know, I still get a lot of questions about gesso, so I do like to talk about that as much as I can in my layouts in case someone's watching for the first time and, you know, they're not sure how gesso works. So yeah. All right, so I let that dry off camera. I did a little bit of stitching. I was in the mood to play with my sewing machine. So I just did a straight stitch with white thread around the edges of all of these cards just to give them some texture and some interest. And I love the look of machine stitching. So I did that just to add a little bit of something. And then I had this extra piece of tissue paper sitting right there on my desk. I'm going to layer that behind my photo and then start to play around with the placement. I did cut out that really bright, pretty floral cluster from another Pocket Life card that the bottom of it is up there on the upper right hand side of my screen with the orange and white stripes. I'm going to use some of that as well. And I pulled out several flowers from the Paige Evans Truly Grateful collection. We get a big package of, there they are right there, beautiful colorful florals. Some of them are single flowers, some of them are big clusters, some of them have white borders, some of them don't, which I love. You know, you have your options there, and if you don't want the white border, you can always trim it off. So I'm just trying to play around here. There's so many colorful, beautiful things in the kits this month, even though a lot of things can be used for fall type pages. I think that there are plenty of things to still make summer pages, and you know me, I love summer pages, and yeah, definitely use a lot of these colors for summer as well. So I really love these pretty little studio pieces here. These are some clear stickers and they're little smudgy paint splotches. So I stuck a couple of those to that Pocket Life card just to give it a little bit of interest there. And I'm going to start to glue things down. Now I want to make sure that this main card here is straight, so I use my T-square ruler to straighten it up, and then everything else can be crooked, but my main element is that striped card, so I wanted to make sure that that was straight. And then I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive foam behind my photo to raise it up. And that's just something that I like to use to give things dimension, to kind of pop them up off the page, and just makes things a little more 3D. And I'm going to definitely use that blue bird die cut from Truly Grateful to pull in some of the blue over to that side, since I've got a lot of blue going on in the photo. Just ruffling up the edges there. Now I do want to add some more texture and color with thread, so I'm going to use some of the blue over here on the right, and I think that that just sort of adds a nice balance to that darker blue color, and I'm going to do that right there on the right and a little bit over here on the left. But I'm trying not to cover up the pink stripes on that Pocket Life card because I love the pop of pink. So I'm very carefully start to glue things down, and I'm using the Scotch tacky glue. That is what is in my very dirty, very well loved glue bottle there. I've only used the Scotch Tacky glue in there since I got this bottle years ago, and it has never steered me wrong. It's never clogged up the bottle. I'm just very careful about replacing it, or not replacing it, but placing the lid back on it pretty quickly after each use, because the glue does dry fast, and if you don't, then the little needle will dry out. Okay, so I decided to pull some of the wood veneer pieces from Truly Grateful, and I'm going to emboss them. And what I just showed you there was my little embossing ink dabber. Now, I get asked this every time I use this, where did you get that? I bought that years ago from Michael's. I mean, 5 or 6 years ago, and it's still great. It's basically versifying ink that you would use for embossing. It's just in a little dabber bottle. And then this gold embossing powder is also from Michael's. It's the Michael's brand, and it's just your standard shiny gold. And all I did was dab it on there, pour on the gold powder, and now I'm going to pull out my little heat gun here and set it, and it's going to look like magic. I haven't embossed in so long, and this took maybe 2 minutes total, if that. And the wood veneer embosses really nicely, so you can kind of see the finished product there. So I did 3 of those, and I thought that they would add a nice little pop of shimmery gold. So I'm going to place those in a couple different places. And yeah, there's several different wood veneer pieces in this collection that we get, so I may have to emboss those later. Now I'm going to start to play around with the epoxy stickers and the regular sticker sheet and more of the embellishments, all from Truly Grateful, that come in the various kits this month. And I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do for my title. I knew that I wanted to use that hello because it matched the color scheme that I was going for. But then when I decided to use this blue photo, I really loved the look of that blue yes. And I like the fact that it's small and a short word, and I can kind of tilt it, and I love to mix and match fonts for titles. So hello, you know, is these big block letters, and then yes is this fun whimsical scripty word. And so I thought, I'm gonna make hello yes work in some way as a title. So yeah, I'm gonna make it work, and I'm gonna go ahead and glue that down because I just love the way it looks, and I love that the blue yes sort of brings in some of that darker blue color down to that section of the layout. I added a couple more flowers down in that area, and then make sure everything's glued down. I did add some of the little epoxy circle dots. They look like enamel dots. They're on the Truly Grateful epoxy sticker sheet. And then these are the little alpha stickers from Pink Fresh Studio from the Just a Little Lovely collection. And so I figured I would just finish my title, and it's going to be hello, yes, it's me. That was not the title that I was thinking of when I started this layout. I really didn't have a title in mind. And you know, sometimes the title doesn't even really matter. If you have things there that work, you like the way they look, just go for it. And this is just a selfie. It's not some, you know, monumental event where the title means everything, so it's not that big a deal. This is one of the little tiny flower stamps from the exclusive stamp set that Femke designed. She's on our design team, and it's in the Pocket Life kit. And I just pulled out a dark purple pink color of ink pad to stamp that around. And then I pulled out the Minor 49er Shimmers Gold that we got a while back to echo some of the gold since I embossed those flowers. And then I cut a little sunshine from one of the Truly Grateful pattern papers, and I'm going to pop that up. I really like that I did that. I was going to leave that little purple area just plain, but I like the pop of yellow, and it kind of breaks up the purple, and it just brightens up that part of the page. And I can't get enough of these little sunshines. I think I have fussy cut a sunshine from that pattern paper for several layouts recently, and I thought I would bring a pop of green up to that area. I looked around and thought, what color can I add up there that needs to be up there? And I thought green, so I just circled up some thread to layer it underneath the sun there. And then I drew my lines down at the bottom for my journaling, and I'm going to use my gold metallic pen that I got from Michael's a long time ago. And that's the final layout. I did add the date down at the bottom and add a couple of more flowers over there to the left of the journaling. But anyway, that's the layout. That's my selfie, and I love how this turned out. I love the colors. I love the mix of purple, pink, and orange as my base color scheme, and it just worked. I really had a good time making this. I hope you got some ideas, maybe something to try on your next layout or a future project. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the techniques or the kits or anything that I might have left out, and I will be more than happy to answer. I want to thank you so much for watching and all your comments and support. It does mean a lot to me, and I will see you guys in my next video. I hope you have a wonderful week.